Okay. Our next question is from John on fecal transplants. John says, "Hey Rob, I have a question for you about fecal transplants. I have Asperger syndrome along with a persistent itching all over my body and particularly on my anus that I believe is from stuff I'm eating expressing through my skin. Cutting gluten and dairy has helped some, but not eliminated. I haven't been tested for gut bacteria yet, but going to do that next month. If, as I suspect, I turn out to be missing a lot of the usual gut flora, do you think a fecal transplant is a good option? And if so, what's the best way to go about getting one?"
Well, it's funny. With the introduction to the show, I mentioned some weird gut things that I'm experiencing and actually reached out to Chris Kresser and Dr. Ruscio, pinging them about why and when, one might seek out a fecal transplant. One thing backing up a little bit on this, like the itchiness around the anus, that is associated with pinworm infestation, and general gut irritation can be associated with the pinworm infection. So in addition to the whatever gut testing you're doing, I would definitely do an O&P, an ova and parasite, and kind of as comprehensive a gut screen as you can to see if maybe you have like some sort of pinworm or other critter like that, because those can be treated really easily and effectively, and that might be a big chunk of the problem. Beyond that, the hows, whys, and what's its of fecal transplant. The challenge that we face today is that there are very few people in Western society that have what's arguably a healthy gut. I think we have people who have healthier guts, but really healthy is kind of hard to track down. So there are some clinics like in Mexico where they get transplants from the Tarahumara Indians. The results that some people report with this process are nothing short of miraculous. I think Karen Pendergrass, who's part of the Paleo Foundation, has documented her experience going through a fecal transplant, because there was a long period of time where like we would see her one year and she was super skinny, and we'd see her the next year and she was like 50 pounds heavier and it just kind of edemic and sick and miserable. And she could only eat like 100% pasture finished meat.
She was reactive if the beef had been fed any grain at all.
Any
like
grain
she
at all.
felt
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and because she's in this, she has the paleo certification company. People would send her samples, and she would try it, and she's like, "That's bullshit. I know there's great," and then they would actually come clean on it, and they're like, "Oh my god, how did you know that?" But so, and then she did a fecal transplant and is pretty robust now. Like she's one of the people that I could think of that's one of the better examples. I know some other, and she's been very open about this, so I feel comfortable telling her story because she's blogged on it and written about it, and I talked on podcasts. So I would look, Karen Pendergrass fecal transplant and kind of see what her experience is. I also know people that have done it and it didn't really do much of anything. And there's a lot of different variables there. There is a reality that like our kind of serotype, our parts of the innate immune response that we have kind of handshake or crosstalk with the gut bacteria that take up residence in our digestive system. And I don't think it's similar to blood typing. I don't think that they're doing kind of like serotyping, tissue typing with regards to who's donating fecal transplants. So in addition to needing to find somebody who is healthy comparatively, I think that they tend to work better if you have somebody that's got an immune system that looks more close to your own. If it's quite different than yours, then the type of bacteria that's in there are less likely to be happy taking up residence with you and may cause some cross-reactivity. So it's definitely the Wild West. Like the FDA has only approved fecal transplants for like long-term C. diff infections and like one or two other issues. So oftentimes you have to go kind of out of country, or you do like the fleet enema, get a cheap disposable blender.
The DIY version.
Yeah, the DIY version. And,
blender.
Well, you want to mix that stuff up consistently.
Yeah.
And
so.
yeah. Okay, moving on.